Today on Toy Habits, we are taking a look at Skeletor's second in command and the dark sorceress that stole the show in the Masters of the Universe Revelation Netflix series, Evil-Lyn, and we'll also be comparing her to her Masters of the Universe Classics Battleground figure from 2011. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits, and today we are taking a detailed look at my absolute favorite figure in the Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse line, Evil-Lyn. And although we didn't see her very much with her unhelmeted head, you will see why I fell in love with her long flowing locks of white hair. And if that's not enough, I'll also be comparing her to her Masters of the Universe Classics Battleground Evil-Lyn figure, so let's get right down to it. And let's start off like we usually do by looking at the box, and Evil-Lyn comes in the Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse packaging, and it is a beautiful window display box where you can see all of her accessories, and man, let me tell you, she does come with a lot. And taking a look at the side of the box, there is this beautiful illustration of Evil-Lyn, so let's zero in on that next. And taking a look at the top of the box, you can see closer up in the illustration that she is conjuring up some sort of magic spell, and I love the way that this is illustrated. It makes it look like it's a barrier between her and her hand, so nothing can get to her. And I love the look on her face that she has, and she has this look of determination and intent, and she knows exactly what she's doing. I love the shading of the biceps here, and it really gives her a very strong and powerful look. Now, moving down to her outfit, I love the feathering that they've illustrated here, and she's holding her scepter in her right hand, and it has a nice purple color, and you can see that satchel that she wears on her left side, and I just think this whole illustration is just beautifully drawn. And on the back of the box, we are treated to yet another beautiful scene of Evil-Lyn, and it looks like she has cast her spell, and she has a look of satisfaction and malintent on her face that is just amazing. And I love the background that they've given it. It looks like a planet with some asteroids, and it looks like she is breaking through the asteroids. I just love the way this is illustrated, and the back of the box looks simply fantastic. At the bottom, you see all of the other figures in the wave like He-Man, Mossman, and Skeletor, but really the gem here is the illustration of Evil-Lyn. And now that Evil-Lyn is out of the box, we can take a look at her beautiful head sculpt, so let's start with her helmet first. Now, Evil-Lyn comes with two head sculpts, first of which is her classic-looking head that you see from the 80s cartoon, and also you see in the latest Masters of the Universe Revelation cartoon. And the way that this is sculpted is beautifully done. They have so many layers of sculpting detail. The skull looks amazing, and it has a huge presence on her helmet. As well as the spikes, they've given them a lot of detail here, and they've given them more of a 3D look. And if you can really see the details here, they're angled down, and it's not just one piece, it's layers upon layers of sculpting, and it even goes around to the back of her helmet here. And turning the figure around to get another angle of the helmet, you can see the angles that they've put in here. So typically what you'll see in Evil-Lyn is more of a straight helmet, and I love the angled look that they've given it here. And if you'll notice, this piece is not actually attached to her head. You can actually fold it back, which gives it a really great look, and you can actually see through it, which just adds another dimension to the figure. All right, now turning your attention to Evil-Lyn's facial features, her eyes and the way that they were painted make her look so intimidating. And you can see that her irises rest up more towards her eyelids there, and that just gives her a very determined look. She has really strong facial features, and she just looks like she is out to get somebody. And she has really, really strong jaw lines, and I love the way that her eyebrows are painted there. And one aspect that completes this look is her pursed lips, and I love that she's been given a more darker maroon lip color here, and it just goes very well with her overall paint scheme. This whole facial feature and facial look is just simply amazing. Now, before we go any further, I just want to make one comment about her outfit. Now, rather wearing that traditional one-piece gothic dress that she has, Evil-Lyn is sporting what seems to be more like a traveler's outfit here. And if you've seen the cartoon, you know all of the traveling that they do from Preternia to Subternia. So I think she needed to up her outfit game for this particular series. And moving down to her torso, we can take a closer look at the outfit. And as you can see, they have these nice blue feathery ruffles here around her collar, which gives the outfit more of a presence. And these ruffles actually go around to the back of her neck here and across her shoulders. And if you take a look at the other details in her torso, she has a light blue and dark blue color scheme here, and the way that they've sculpted the folds here on her stomach make it look like she's actually wearing clothing. So I do love this outfit, and you can also see some of the texturing that they've given the outfit here, and you can kind of see it in the light if it catches it right. Oh, there we go. There's some vertical line texturing here that just gives this figure a lot more depth and dimension. And taking a closer look at her arms, both of her arms are the same, although she does have different hand sculpts. But let's take a look at her forearm armor, and there's really not much to it aside from some sculpting detail near the top. And I love this fingerless glove design that they gave her here, and it looks like they actually forgot to paint the bottom of the glove here. They actually have some sculpting that's on her finger, but as you can see, there's no black paint that is around her finger there. And one aspect that I found really puzzling was the fact that they colored her little hinge joint here black. So in my opinion, it should have been colored flesh colored, because it just looks weird because it doesn't look like it's hanging on to anything. And one last thing that I'll mention about her arms, she is given a much more muscular, much more beefier Evil-Lyn figure with respect to the arm sculpt. And moving down to her belt, she's given some really cool belt detail here, and it almost looks like there's a leathery texture on her belt. And I love that it's so thick, and it actually goes around all the way around to her backside, and you can see some of the belt and texturing here. And one of the other things that I would love to point out here is this really cool loop that is on her side, and it's a piece that is sculpted onto the skirt that she is wearing, and I love that it's detached and you can play with it and manipulate it. And taking a closer look at her skirt, you can see the sculpting detail that they have on the side and also the texturing. And I do love that this is in two pieces and it's just cut in a slit, and that actually facilitates her articulation with her legs. So you're not going to have any problems with her legs running into her skirt. And moving down to her legs, now her legs are covered up mostly by her skirt, but if we lift this up, we can see that they are black, and you have a very nice glossy knee pad here. And I just think the overall look of the black boots and her blue skirt just look very nice. And finally, we get down to her boots, and her boots look like a modern day Ugg boot where they have these sculpting details folding over on each other, and it just gives it a really nice look. And the texture that they put on it looks like a leathery boot, and the entire boot looks pretty basic, but I think it looks really nice on the figure and it goes with the outfit. And you really wouldn't want a very stylish boot here because she's trekking through the forest. She is going all over heaven and hell and Eternia, so I think her boots are just the right look for her. And before we move on to Evil-Lyn's accessories, let's take a look at her articulation. And boy, she is chock-a-block with articulation. So let's start from the top. She has a ball-jointed head. She has a ball-jointed mid-torso. She has swivel and hinged shoulders. And her biceps also swivel. And she has double hinged elbows, which actually give a really cool effect. So you can actually put her hand behind her head and make her bicep and arm fold onto each other, which I think is really cool. And I think it really fits this particular figure. She also has swivel and hinged wrists, and she can swivel at the waist here. And with the pose that I've landed her in now, I am tempted to do a Macarena stop motion video here, but I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not? Maybe I'll throw it in as a bonus. And moving down to her lower body, she does have ball jointed hips, as you can see here, and she does have double hinged knees that you can see here. So they bend at the top and at the bottom of the knee. Her thighs also swivel up here, and Her boots also swivel, and her ankles are also on a swivel, and they're also hinged. So this lady is just jam-packed with articulation. Now, Evil-Lyn comes with a lot of accessories, so let's first start off by looking at her hands, and she comes with a pair of just standard fist hands, which you can see here. It's a nice fist sculpt, and you can see that there's really no frills to this sculpt. It's just a basic fist, and I think she'll look great with it on. And she also comes with a pair of gripping hands, and I do love the way that these are sculpted, and it looks like the fingers are staggered a little bit, which gives it a very nice look. And finally, she comes with 2 spell casting hands, and I do love the way that these look, but I do wish that there was some more finger manipulation here. So I was actually taking a look at the Marvel Legends Scarlet Witch figure, and that one has hands that really go for it in the spell casting arena. So I wish that these hands had a little bit more bend to them in the fingers, but it's a good sculpt. And next, let's take a look at her magic staffs. And I'm only going to pick up one of these because the shorter one is a lot easier to fit in the frame. And this is very heavily Filmation inspired, in my opinion. And I do love the way this looks, and I do love the purple. It's almost like a translucent purple here, but it's thick enough where you can't see through it. And I do love the like bony claw detail that they have that's grasping this orb that is in the center of her staff, and I just think it looks amazing. And next up, let's take a look at Evil-Lyn's messenger bag, and I think it looks great, and it looks like it's carrying some red mysterious object in it. Who knows what's in here, but maybe we'll find out in season 2, but I love the detail that they have on here. It looks really realistic with respect to the straps and also the bag itself. And I do love the little silver detail that they have here. And it just looks pretty plain on the back with a line running down the center. And last but not least, let's take a look at her unhelmeted head sculpt. And this is my favorite look for her by far. And this head sculpt is the same face, but with long, beautiful white hair. And I love the way the hair is sculpted. And it looks really realistic with the layering that they've done on the back. But this is just a fantastic look for her, and I can't wait to put this on her body. And here is Evil-Lyn all geared up with her staff and her alternate head sculpt and her messenger bag, and I think she looks gorgeous. The messenger bag lays very nicely to her side, and it fits on both sides, but one pro tip here, if you want to tuck the messenger bag underneath her hair sculpt, it actually won't fall off of her shoulders, and I think it actually gives her a very good look, but this is the look for my Evil-Lyn. And here she looks with her helmeted head sculpt, her staff, and her messenger bag, and I think she looks equally as good, but I do love that alternate white long-haired hair sculpt, but she looks amazing either way. And one thing to point out, I actually do like the messenger bag hanging to her left side here, because then you can see that red accent that they have on the bag, which I think makes it look really, really cool. Now, since I had the Masters of the Universe Classics Battleground Evil-Lyn figure, I wanted to do a quick comparison just to show you the differences between the Masterverse traveling outfit and the more gothic looking, more traditional outfit that the Battleground Evil-Lyn has. And as you can see, her gothic look here is more ornate, and it's definitely harkens back to the Filmation aspect of Evil-Lyn. And in this new version, I think this traveling outfit fits her a lot better for the scenes that she's doing in the cartoon. And another aspect to make note of is that the Masterverse figure is definitely thinner than the Classics version. And the Masterverse Evil-Lyn just has a lot more angular facial features, and she has a much more natural skin tone than this like pasty white, almost dead looking skin that the Battleground Evil-Lyn figure has here. And one last thing that I want to point out revolves around their boots, and you can see that the Battleground Evil-Lyn has the more traditional style MOTU boot with the more furry presentation and the more UGG-like presentation, and the Masterverse Evil-Lyn has more of a walking or hiking boot, and I think both of these boots fits these figures very well. Now, the Masters of the Universe Classics Battleground Evil-Lyn also came with an alternate head sculpt, and you can see that she has shorter white hair in this particular head sculpt, and I was never fond of her short hair, and comparing her to the Masterverse figure, the white hair sculpt and the long hair is just an amazing look for Evil-Lyn, and I think I'm going to display her this way forever and just put that alternate head sculpt in my accessory bin. Now, I hope I convinced you of the beauty, form, and function of this figure, and now you can see why this is my favorite figure in the line by far. She has a unique looking outfit, two fantastic looking head sculpts, multiple hands, cool accessories, and well-designed articulation. And if you made it this far, here is your treat, Evil-Lyn doing the Macarena to take us out. And I can't say enough great things about this figure, but I would love to know what you think in the comments below, and give us a like if you've enjoyed this review.